Roll Tide Bama fans, what's up, man? It's your boy Mizzy. Man, that game last week, man. Everybody been calling me like, man, what happened? What went wrong, man? What? All I can say, first of all, we all know when you turn the ball over 3 times and the other team has 0 turnovers, that's a formula to lose. You lose, it was 23-21. I ain't even write it down just because I'm not even focused on score, but you only lose by that smaller margin. This Alabama team was way better than that Oklahoma team. Man, I'm talking about. So far as I get to the positive first because I'm gonna rant on the negatives. So Matil practically had him under control. Only threw for 138 yards. Had 10 carries for 23 yards. Yes, he had the one rushing touchdown. Defense got to stop that. But besides that, man, the defense really played great. The Oklahoma offense couldn't do nothing. Really, you had 2 turnovers. Like I said, man, you had the Ryan Williams punt return. I'm looking when he was dancing in the backfield on the punt. I'm like, man, just get down, Ryan. Just get. You're not going nowhere. I don't even like Ryan Williams on the kickoffs. I like Brooks back there because, like I said, man, I just don't like Ryan Williams on the kickoff. I think Ryan Williams, I need to do a video on Ryan Williams. I think he has to refocus on football and a lot of the outside noise he needs to leave alone. But anyway, like I said, we had Matil under control. This Oklahoma team only had 212 total yards. That's telling you, and Bama had 406 yards, I think, 400 something total yards. I'm like, man, you can't lose a game when you're doubling a team over in offense. Like I said, Ty, he had the 1 turnover. Well, he had the 2 turnover, the 1 interception. Really, like I said, it was some. Yes, it was some missed blocks on that. But Ty got to remember, sometimes you just got to take the sack. It's better than having a net. That's a better negative. You got to weigh the negatives. That's a better negative than having a pick six return. Because like I said, this offense is not doing that. You're giving a team energy that don't have it. Like I said, turning over the ball right there. Like I said, yes, it was blocks, but the ball's in your hand. You got to control that. The fumble, coming from the outside, man. Matter of fact, and I'm just gonna get into it. Man, I've been saying it because watching the past couple weeks, man, Ryan Grubb, when he was at Seattle, a lot of people said the reason he got fired because Ryan Grubb refused to run the ball. All year, what they keep saying, oh, establish the run, establish the run. Ryan Grubb does not want to commit to running the football. Man, watching this game and previous games, John Miller needs to be benched. I don't know what he's making as far as NIL money, but I don't know if now with certain players making this certain amount of money, people are scared to bench them. But you got to put the best players on the field. And John Miller, like I said, maybe he's still hurt, maybe still beat up because he came into the season hurt, came back to Georgia game. But John Miller just ain't playing good. I think he needs to be benched. Daniel Hill needs to come in. And when I say Ryan Grubb doesn't commit to running the football, because you can't just look at a stat sheet and be like, oh, this guy had this many carries. One play, Daniel Hill, 7-8 yard carry. What does Ryan Grubb do the next play? I think the very next play was the Ty Simpson interception. You're second and short, but second and 2. Give him the ball back again, run the ball. That's how you establish the run. You don't just give a guy a carry, then throw it 3-4 times, then mix in a run. So when you want to run the ball, you got to come in and run the ball. This was the perfect game for Daniel Hill to have 20-25 carries. Perfect game. He probably would have had 130, 140 yards, maybe more than that. Maybe he busts out a big one. But you can't just keep sending in a guy who's 6'1", that's 244, throwing screen passes and throwing bubble screens. Like, I'm glad that he's that big and athletic, he can catch, but man, look, you have athletes on the field. And another thing, somebody tell Ryan Grubb he's not at Washington no more. When you was at Washington, of course you had, Penix and Rome, whoever. You had great athletes, but as far as the whole board, you didn't have the athletes that you have at Alabama. All them trick plays, you don't have to do that at Alabama. You line up. Matter of fact, this how it is. You line up. Look, we're running right. Stop us from running up. With this where we going, stop us. You had it always was about imposing your will on another team. It never was about tricking another team. I never even liked us doing trick plays. If anybody remember, I remember when we played Ohio State. It was I think it was the year they starting quarterback got hurt and the other guy, I can't think of his name right now. The other guy came in, nobody had seen him and he played great. But we had Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry might have ran for 200 something yards that day. But we tried a trick play. That's when we had Blake Sims and threw an interception. I think that was when Lane was there. Man, we don't do trick plays. You line up, we're coming that way, stop us. Like I said, and it's just it's some of the play calling just doesn't make no sense. It's 3rd and 3. You have people running 10, 15 yard posts down the field. You need 3 yards. Stop trying to get the big play. In my mind, I started to think a couple games ago, man, is Ryan Grubb just here so he can try to, and which I know nobody really wants to stay as a coordinator. Most people want to get to a head coach and, a bigger job. I'm like, is you here just so to he's trying to win Ty Simpson a Heisman? Because when you're so heavy passing, it starts to be like, okay, this guy, he wants to build numbers. He wants to inflate the stat sheet for everybody to see, like, oh, okay, he look what a guy who just started this year and already he won a Heisman. But no, look, that's why if that's what you're thinking, that's not gonna get it done. Because like I said, man, Ryan Grubb, he just done commit to running the ball. And another thing, when I was talking about Jam Miller being benched, another thing, he misses blocks all the time. Every time I'm seeing him get blown up on a play, he's running out, he's confused. Like I said, I don't know if he's hurt, I don't know what's going on, but he hasn't played good. You're not blocking. Look, Jam Miller has 88 carries on the year for 321 yards, 3.6 yards a carry. That's not going to get it done. And then, like I said, you got to remember, that's really bad because his best game was the Vanderbilt game when he had about 100 yards. So take out that game, and he's maybe at close to 2.1 point yards a carry. Like, he just hasn't played good. Like I said, you're missing blocks. You even dropped a pass this past week. Like I say, man, put him second, third string, start Daniel Hill, give him, because like I say, this week we not playing nobody for real. Give him the ball, let him get ready for the Auburn game that's coming up, because Auburn is a physical team. That's why it would be even better if Daniel Hill plays, because you have a 6'1", 244-pound running back that's physical and straight line speed, straight line running. Jam Miller, he's doing too much dancing in the backfield, too much happy feet. You got to get upfield. It was one play, he was running to the left. He just running. Jam, the field's going to end. You got to turn upfield. Like, you got to turn upfield. Like I said, man. And then, another thing, like I said, man, because like I said, I Kane Womack, I'm not criticizing the defense, really. The only play I really think the defense, like I said, was the German Till run and we dropped the interception early in the game. It was one right into, I think it was Justin Jefferson. I think that was him. It might be somebody else, but interception right in your hand and you dropped it. You got to catch that one. You got to. But you know what people say, that's why he's on defense, because he can't catch the ball. But anyway, like I said, man, you got to flip the field. And, we have been doing a great job turning over the ball. But when your offense is just, like I say, offense just not making any sense. Like I say, Ty Simpson passed for, I don't know, was it 300 yards or something around there, 300 some yards? Man, you gotta like I said, man, you're playing a great defensive line. When you're going into a game like that, it's almost put me in the mindset when I remember the Patriots was playing the Broncos. And that Broncos defense, it was the Broncos team that ended up beating Carolina in the championship. That Broncos defense was insane. I remember Tom Brady still almost won that game. What they was doing, 5 yard out, 2 yard, that working down the field. Ryan Grubb, you're not gonna hit a big play every time. You gotta stop hunting for the big play every time. Because like I said, man, you were playing a team with a great defensive line. Ty Simpson not going to have as much time. You got to help your quarterback. No matter who's the quarterback back there, if they're getting pressure in their face, they're not going to look great. And like I say, I think Ty played good, but it's a lot of stuff you got. Like I said, you got to keep that clock in your head. When you're playing certain teams, you don't have all day. You got to step up in the pocket. You got to move around. And like I said, Ty, you know, you're at Alabama. It's a lot of pressure. Sometimes I feel like he looks like he's feeling the pressure sometimes on some of the throws, because some of these throws, I'm like, he'll make some of the most difficult throws that's like dropping in a bucket on the sideline. But like I say, I still believe in Ty Simpson. I'm still a fan of Ty Simpson. I think he's plenty good enough to win us a championship. And another thing, Bama fans, yes, we lost this game, but we still have everything in front of us. We still could win a natty this year. You got to remember, guys, this is a new era of college football. You're not going to have your years. It's going to be rare years going undefeated through the entire year. Even the Ohio State team last year, what it was, they lost to Michigan. You know, a lot of times, like I say, man, the talent level's closer. You're not going to just be running through every team like we used to, man. You're going to have one or two losses. Like I say, you hate the Florida State loss early. You hate this loss. Hopefully, this refocus the team. And like I say, hopefully when they go back and look at the tape, that Ryan Grubb, Coach DuBois, all them look at it like, hey, man, Jam not playing good. We got to start Daniel Hill. I remember, that's why I think Nick left with all this NIL, transfer portal, all this stuff. Because, man, it used to be when you was playing, the best player played. I don't care how much you getting paid. Because now, with the NIL deals, people are going to be like, oh, well, you know, we paying this guy $3 million. We can't put him on the bench. What? We need the best player on the team. We don't need the most hype on the floor. Because like I say, just like Ryan Williams, you came into this year with a lot of hype. I seen him on every podcast. I seen him every brand deal, on the cover of NCAA. All that stuff is great. Get your chicken. Get your bread, man. I ain't hanging. But one thing you always got to do, you always got to focus on the task at hand. You got to remember, why is the reason I'm known is football. I got to keep playing great at football, because some of those drops and stuff, I'm telling you, it's because of the outside, you're not as focused. Like I said, I think Ryan's still super talented, but I think he just got a lot back in. But like I said, Bama fans, everything's still in front of us. We got to take care of business still. Like I said, Auburn will not be no easy game. We know we're going to play them at Jordan Hare. Hope this they outside my apartment, they cutting grass or something. Hopefully that noise ain't coming in too much. But like I said, man, I no, it was a tough loss. I hate we lost, but like I said, hope you still got everything ahead of you. Like I said, you still is in the toughest division. A lot of the committee for the playoff committee, they take account of that. You still got the biggest wins on the year. You still beat Georgia. You still beat Vandy. You still got all these great wins. So, like I said, everything's still ahead of you. You got to just lock back in and take care of business. But anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe, share, and I catch you next time.